What's up, Panther fans? You know this is Panthers War 89. Got a game coming up here against the Buccaneers. I don't know. Does this qualify as a hate week anymore? Because most of the time it's just a beatdown session. So, coming up, Tampa Bay is rolling in here. They're giving up about 33 points a game and scoring about 28. They have clearly a good offense when their quarterback is on. Fitzpatrick is usually very hot or very cold, never really in the middle. The defense is trash. Their defense coming in, I think, pretty banged up as well. And we're coming in pretty healthy. So this is a game we should be able to score in the 30-point range. And as long as we can hold their offense to, low 20s, I don't see this game being much of an issue. When it comes to Fitzpatrick, it's all about getting him to force turnovers. And if we can get a couple turnovers, maybe, a fumble or a pick, get that going early, get them off their game, get them off their spot. We'll take care of business real quick with this one. Expect a W. Obviously, we're at home. And I don't see any reason why we shouldn't win this game. So we just got to take care of business, do what we've been doing, and everything will fall into place. And yeah, we just got to keep it rolling right now. We're getting healthy at the right time. Offensive line is playing out of their mind. I thought the offensive line, especially once we had some injuries, I thought it was going to be pretty bad, honestly. And this is probably one of the best offensive lines, if not the best offensive line we have had in many years. We've only given up, I think, 10 sacks this year, which is incredible. I think at this point last year, Cam been sacked like 20-something times. So the fact we're able to do that with a makeshift offensive line, you got to give credit to coaching and, just obviously the players as a whole. And Cam's playing great. Receivers are making big plays. I hope to see DJ Moore keep getting involved and have a similar week to we did last week. And then defensively, secondary played really well last week. Hopefully, we can do the same. Tampa Bay's obviously got some weapons of Mike Evans and Deshaun Jackson. So if we keep those guys in check, I don't see this game being too much of a problem. I predict a score of 34-21. I think we take care of business here and we control the game throughout. We may have a scary moment or two, but I think for the most part, it will be a controlling the game type situation. So that's about it I got on this, game coming up. It's Tampa Bay. They're not that great. They're okay. They have their moments. They've shown, they stomped the Saints out, but then they got murdered by the Bears. So it's, kind of weird season for them. But you can never underestimate a division rival. Out of the three division rivals this year, Tampa Bay's probably maybe the least important. Them or Atlanta. Obviously, this is a battle between us and the Saints. We got to keep winning, make sure we stay right there with them so that when we play them in the last few weeks of the season, we have a chance to win the division. We don't want to come up on the wrong side of it like we did last year. And I think we'll get the division this year, and we just got to keep doing what we've been doing, and we'll be Super Bowl chance to be playing this way. One of the things I want to address, though, for people on Twitter, maybe not on Twitter, may have saw it, C.J. Anderson tweeting out that basically he's going for it next year, and, next year's going to be a great year and all this. Are you fucking kidding me, man? What are we in? Week 8, right? Week 9? This will be our 8th game played. We're at 5-2 right now. We are not even halfway through the season. And you are talking about next season? That is so bad for a team on so many levels. One, if I'm your teammate, I got to go, hey, man, are you in it for the team or are you just looking to get your numbers, right? And maybe that's why he hasn't seen the field very much this year, because C.J. Anderson has been really productive when he's been on the field. He's had good moments this year. Very few and far between, but he's had some production, which makes you go, why isn't this guy playing a little bit more? Obviously, McCaffrey's going to get a majority of the snaps. We understand that, but McCaffrey's been on the field a ton. I think his percentage is like 93%, or it might even be higher than that. It's a really high number. So that makes you wonder. And the fact he's doing that, it's like, okay, you're not getting the most opportunities, but at the end of the day, you're on this team and your number can be called at any point in time. and you're over here worried about next year, that's a pretty bitch move in my opinion. And I'm not a big fan of C.J. Anderson. Never have been, especially with the Super Bowl game he had against us. And then he posts that picture of the Super Bowl ring when he's on the Panthers. It's like, okay, bringing up the saddest moment in Panther history. Way to go, buddy. So I don't care much for C.J. Anderson. I'll be honest with you. And then he continued to say there was fans, giving it to him, saying, "Hey, man, and a lot of them were using the phrase "we," right? I use the phrase "we" all the time. And he says, "Oh, what signs lift tomorrow?" He was asking fans and basically saying, "You part of the 53-man roster?" I hate when people do that, and I hate when people say that. I think it's one of the most ignorant statements you can make, and let me tell you why. All right, let me ask this question, okay? How much does the average professional lacrosse player make? Oh, that's right. No one fucking knows. Now, do you know why no one knows? Because no one watches lacrosse, okay? Do you know why no one watches lacrosse? Well, it's not big, right? Just doesn't provide that entertainment. Okay, that's fine, right? It's fine. It's a sport. No problem with it, right? But it's not that big, okay? Football, on the other hand, is huge. It is the biggest sport in America. Do you know why it is the biggest sport? Because it's very entertaining and there is a shit ton of fans that love it, okay? Do you know the average NFL salary compared to lacrosse? Pretty big difference, right? So my point is this, okay? Everybody understands the players are very important. Without the players, there is no game, right? I wear a Cam Newton jersey every Sunday. I fucking love Cam Newton, right? And he's super important, right? But if it's not for us fans, right? If it's not for us watching the shows on TV and listening to sports radio and podcasts and hell, even watching this YouTube video right now, right? If it wasn't for us, there is no giant fucking stadium for them to play in, right? No one would care. No one would know your name. You wouldn't be famous. You wouldn't have the money. You wouldn't have those things, right? But if it wasn't for you guys, we wouldn't have a game to watch and we wouldn't have something to be passionate about and something we enjoy as fans, right? So my point is this. It is all one working part and both sides are equally important, right? And anybody that doesn't agree with that, I honestly think you're an idiot and you just don't understand how things work, okay? And if I was the Panthers, I would fucking cut C.J. Anderson because clearly you don't want to be here. You're alienating fans, and you're just bad for this team. In general, I would rather have Cameron Artis-Payne out there getting 1.5 yards a carry. I just don't care for those kind of statements because I think everybody should think what they want to think, do whatever, fine. Well, that's fine. But understand, without the fans, this isn't a big thing. No one would give a shit, okay? It's just like if there was no players, there would be nothing for us fans to cheer for, right? That's my point, okay? So fans can use the statement "we" because without everybody, there is no game. So fans can absolutely use the word "we," and that's my opinion on it. So take that as you want, and that's what I think about it. So I think that's about all for this video. So thanks for watching, and go Panthers.